All right. We got Tyler Nichols of JoeBlow.com in the house. Joe, unfortunately, is out saving the world tonight, so he can't be here. So you got your boy Jay. We're going to kick this shit off, and here we go in 3, 2, 1.
Get over here! Hi, I'm martial art master Daniel Casino. You know me as the original Johnny Cage, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Reptile, and Smoke. You are tuning in to NerdCage Live on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. Don't miss an episode or you'll get caged. So let's finish him.
This is Anthony Marquez, better known as Kung Lao for Mortal Kombat. Make sure to like and subscribe to NerdCage Live. Be there. Us.
NerdCage Live and gaming are a perfect match.
Shoot the J, Joe.
Okay.
Shoot it!
All right.
Over on NerdCage Live on Twitch, Jay and Joe go live.
Call me Bazooka Joe.
It's all about you.
Kaboom!
Playing both old school and new school games every Tuesday night. Ooh, what a sight!
Jay, stop looking at her face and run.
But she's so beautiful!
So be sure to follow NerdCage Live on Twitch.
Run for your life, Joe. Run for your life, Joe.
Running.
Run faster! Oh no, Joe! The galaxy's doomed because of you!
To scratch your gaming itch.
Oh, nice kick, Joe.
Thank you.
Yo, that's f***ing diabolical. Wait. Yo!
That's twitch.tv/NerdCageLive.
Hey everybody, this is Dave Niebor from Dog Eat Dog, and you're watching NerdCage Live. So like, share, and subscribe to this channel. These are great guys doing what they love to do.
Hi, I'm Leah Montalongo, the OG Sindel. Please like, subscribe to NerdCage Live.
We're doing another NerdCage Live giveaway, Joe. Joe, what are we giving away this time?
This time we are giving away the collector's edition of Mortal Kombat 1.
Yes! We're excited to team up with Uncanny Carlos and MK Havoc Act to give this away on Thursday, October 26th. Live. Be there. Joe of FallenOne Gaming, how do you enter to win?
Send an email with just your name in the subject line to nerdcagelive@outlook.com.
Absolutely. Be sure to enter before Tuesday, October 24th. We're going to spin a wheel live, and we're going to pick a winner live, and we will email that winner, and that winner has 48 hours to reply to us with your full shipping information, US and Canada only.
Good luck, NerdCage Nation, and flawless victory!
Hey guys, it's the original Shao Kahn, Brian Glenn, and I'd like you to subscribe to NerdCage Live.
This is Ernie C. from Body Count. You're tuned in to NerdCage. Can you like and subscribe?
Greetings, citizens. You're now trapped in a nerd cage. We hope you have a smashing good time.
You're now about to witness the strength of geek knowledge. Hello, welcome. That's right. Once again, you are trapped in Nerd Cage Live. This channel is a celebration of all things pop culture, including horror movies, video games, and of course, the greatest media website across the land, JoeBlow.com. I'm your co-host, Jay St. G, certified geek, 7 days a week, coming to you live from yours truly, the land of the orange, the land of Earth Crisis, the land of Anthrax, the land of Tom Cruise, of Syracuse, New York. And Joe, our moderator and trollhammer, is out saving the world tonight, so I gotta moderate and be host. But ladies and gentlemen of NerdCage Nation, it is my pleasure to introduce my friend, my co-worker, writer, movie critic, editor extraordinaire. He's a renaissance man of many trades. Ladies and gentlemen of NerdCage Nation, please give a warm welcome to Tyler Nichols of JoeBlow.com. How are you, my dude?
I am doing wonderful. Thank you so much for having me. I can definitely tell that you're a radio guy because there is not a single stumble or anything. You are right on it. I love it.
Definitely appreciate that. Just want to say hello to the chat. I see we got some lurkers in there, whether if you're coming from YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook. We appreciate you being here. We will have a special announcement midway through the show. And of course, if you have any questions for Tyler, please, by all means, let them rip. We'll try our best to get to him again. Without Joe here, I got to manage everything and whatnot. But before we get started, if you haven't already, please follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Instagram at nerd_cage. We also have a fantastic Facebook discussion group. It's called NerdCage Nation. Feel free to hang out with us. It's a safe place. Discuss all things pop culture, just no politics, no spoilers. Please keep it civil. And of course, we're on Twitch at twitch.tv/NerdCageLive. And we have our simulcast of NerdCage Live Gaming, youtube.com/@NerdCageLiveGaming. And of course, we have a TeePublic. Get yourself NerdCage Live merch, baby. We have t-shirts of all crazy designs. We got this awesome Zelda design. Don't tell Nintendo. We have this I'm sure you've seen this website at some point in your life. Not for the kids. If you're a huge fan of Barbie, we have the shirts in pink. And for you kaiju fanatics, we got this shirt, the legendary kaiju shirt. For you Mortal Kombat fans, we got the arcade marquee, the Mortal Kombat 3 fatality. Here's our regular shirt with Strength of Geek knowledge on the back, any size, any color. Mortal Kombat 2 fatality, Mortal Kombat 1 fatality. Do not tell the RZA. Ain't no one gonna fuck with you when you got this shirt on. Wu-Tang, baby. And of course, the Triforce. For you MCU fans, we have this shirt. And for you diehard PlayStation fans, we got this. And we also have pillows and hoodies and magnets and stickers. So, no matter if you're a skinny booty call or a fat fuck, big or small, we love them all. We go from small all the way to 5XL. Please get yourself a NerdCage Live t-shirt. You're gonna love the way you look. I guarantee it. So, this show ain't about me, it ain't about NerdCage. It's about our friend Tyler. So, for starters, Tyler, again, thank you for being here tonight. And for starters, I know you're a horror buff, you're a gaming buff, you're a movie buff. But I just want to know, how did you get started? So what do you do outside of Joe Blow? How did your career get started with JoeBlow.com?
So I have always been a editor and video production guy. I used to do college sports, and I just happened to, during the pandemic, apply for a editing job with Joe Blow, and it was for a show that used to be called The Horror Movie That Almost Was, which is now What the Fuck Unmade, where it's essentially taking apart a movie that then wasn't made, that then you tell what would have happened had it been made and all the interesting details. And from there, I got another job called Playing with Fear, which was a nice little series which I only edited, which actually I met Andrew Hatfield, another great guy on the channel that does a lot of really good work. And we were partners for a little bit and got to essentially just snowballed from there, where then I was eventually offered the one half of Joe Blow Horror for like show running. So When you go to the Joe Blow Horror YouTube channel, I run that along with Lance Velchek. Though I should say right up front, Lance is the one that does so much of the legwork and could not do that channel would not be what it is without Lance. So definitely have to make sure I give credit where it's due. But otherwise, I'm just working, doing a bunch of stuff on Joe Blow Horror. I have so many series on there, and then on the Joe Blow original side, I do the DC Revisited, and I'm also a critic, and I pretty much, as a critic, I pretty much just am doing horror movies, but sometimes I do comic book films, so that's a nice little change of pace. I also got to actually review the newest Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which I'm a huge fan of. And
you interviewed the creator of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on Joe Blow Celebrity Interviews.
Yes, and so that's my other job. I'm an interviewer for Joe Blow, and I get to talk to various cool people. And yes, I got to talk to Kevin Eastman, and it was so cool because, I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm a big Turtles guy, and I have seen so many documentaries about the creation and just like the turmoil that has gone on throughout the creation of that show, or that series as a whole, as a property. And so getting to talk to him in particular was an
amazing
cool
interview. Also, shout out, you also interviewed Robert Englund, Freddy Krueger himself, man. Like I said, it has been a joy watching your career, man. I mean, I mean it from the bottom of my heart. Like when I see you out there doing your thing, I could see your inner child just so excited. You're a professional. You're a professional. Along with you, Chris, Alex, Mady, Jimmy O, all you guys are fantastic. But I can see like underneath how excited you are because I know how much it means to you. So, guys, if you haven't already, please subscribe to Joe Blow Horror Originals, Joe Blow Celebrity Interviews, and see Tyler's work. And again, Tyler just interviewed the director of Saw X, which we'll talk about. But yeah, man, it's like I said, it's been awesome seeing your career flourish at Joe Blow, man. I mean that, it's just awesome.
Well, thank you very much. I also have a Boogeyman interview coming out next week that is edited by someone that you might know.
Hello, everybody. Yours truly is going to edit that one, so it's my job to make it like awesome as hell. Also, shout out to Kier.
Yes, Kier Gomes.
Oh my God, I watch his edit, like it blows my mind. Like I'm like, how does he do that shit?
I'm an editor myself, and I have no issue saying that Kier is the best editor that we have, and we are blessed to have him.
Yeah, just what I'm saying. Like I watch his work, I'm thinking to myself, how the fuck does he do this shit? Like, he must. I think
most of the editors on staff essentially treat his videos as a lesson. Watch it and like, oh, what can I learn from this? What cool trick can I learn? Because he's that good.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, absolutely phenomenal. There's times where I'm blown away at what he does with those interviews where I'm like, oh, this Zoom interview really has some energy now.
He is the unsung hero of JoeBlow.com. He really is.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, like, so shout out to Kier. I've been kind of working side by side with him too, because he sends me his material, and I run the celebrity page, so he's one, he sends me his work or whatever, and I just make sure I glance and make sure there's no issues or anything before I upload and whatnot. But yeah, so I just want to break the ice a little bit. So I just want to start by asking you I know you're a horror guy, and I know this is probably a hard question, but gun to your head, what would you say your top 5 horror movies are?
Top 5. I mean, I go pretty generic, I guess, in a lot of ways. It's the stuff that you see in a lot of people's lists, with A Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween, The Shining, The Thing. And I guess if I were to pick something that's more like modern, maybe like an It Follows.
Okay.
Where it's still, again, it's all very, I don't know, if you had to go, because I always feel like that's a bad, I can't, like when I tell people that, it's like, okay, well, I don't feel like I know you any better, because that's like all very basic in terms of what you like. So I always like to say as well that like the less stereotypical stuff, where I'm like, I love My Bloody Valentine and The Burning and like Sleepaway Camp 2, like the cheesy stuff, but the stuff where it's like, I'm not gonna say those are my like favorite horror films, but that gives it a little more identity than just the standard like Halloweens and Elm Streets. Though, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'll be watching Halloween like 3 times this month.
Yeah. Okay, let's narrow it down now. I think it's safe to say, and this is one thing I love about working for Joe Blow, is I get to discover all these movies that like maybe I would miss otherwise. But there's been I think horror movies in general are probably at the best place they've been since probably the 80s. Like,
yes,
horror movies, whether if it's a legacy movie or a new IP, horror's never been in a better position right now. That being said, we've gotten a plethora of horror movies coming out that came out this year, including obviously Exorcist comes out today. But what would you say is the best horror movie of 2023 so far? I'll give you my pick, but I want to know what your pick is.
Mine is something that is a little. I might have to give you a second pick just because this might be, some people might not consider it horror entirely, but Infinity Pool from Brandon Cronenberg.
Yes, I have not seen it. I want to, just because, you know, I'm a huge fan of his father, and I like Alexander Skarsgård. I was a fan of him since True Blood. No, he's effing awesome. So like, yeah, I definitely I want to check that movie out. Jimmy was talking about it. Also, he talked about that one scene.
Yes, and I mean, I own the uncut version on like this. It's a cool little steel book, and there is some real messed up stuff that goes on in that isn't in the R-rated version. So if you're gonna watch one, I mean, I don't know, I would recommend the uncut version just because you get the full experience.
Yes.
But regardless, it's really, really good. I can't say enough good things about it because I think I think that it just provides a lot of moments that you don't really see in a lot of horror movies these days.
Yeah.
And it just, the feeling of dread, there's no better feeling of dread than that film, which I like that.
Plus, shout out to Mia Goth. Like, she's like been on the rise, like the rapid rise, not just in horror, but like in general. I think isn't she supposed to be like the villain in the new Blade movie? Like, she's like really.
Yeah, if that ever happens.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I don't think Marvel's in a good position right now, given their last few movies. And I will say this: I will watch Deadpool 3 because I'm a huge X-Men fan, and I love the X-Men universe, even the bad ones. So I will give Deadpool 3 a chance, but I don't
even think you consider Deadpool 3 even though it is like technically the, you know what I mean, its introduction to the MCU. It's like I still feel like I'm gonna be able to get friends to watch that don't watch like Marvel movies.
Yeah,
because it's like Deadpool's a different vibe.
Yeah, I kind of petered out after Endgame, and I did like Spider-Man. I enjoyed Spider-Man No Way Home, but I feel like Marvel just blew their load with Endgame, and it's just I just feel like the movies that come out afterwards haven't like been at the same level, and I love Blade, like the Wesley Snipes movies. So, and I like Mahershala Ali. I'll give it a chance. I will give the new Blade a chance, but I'm also hearing it's gonna be PG-13, so that kind of like, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough.
Yeah,
it's gonna. Chance.
They're gonna make it like the 90s Spider-Man series where the vampires are sucking plasma, and Blade has like a plasma sword.
Yes.
It's like, that's what I want. If you want to do PG-13, go full board. That's what I want.
So I think granted, I haven't seen as many horror movies as you have this year, but I think my pick so far for 2023, and it was really the one that I did not see coming. I thought the Pope's Exorcist was excellent with Russell Crowe.
Yeah, I enjoyed that one a lot.
I liked it a lot. Like, I wasn't expecting that to be good. By the way, shout out to Doomzilla and Shay. I see you guys in the chat. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, I like that. I like that one. It just has some things where I'm like, wait a minute, what? Just in terms of the Father Amorth, I think that Russell Crowe is amazing in that movie, but there's definitely some stuff where I got a little annoyed at the I don't know, it's a very basic structure in terms of its characters, but I love Russell Crowe in that movie so much. I think I reviewed it. I'm pretty sure I gave it like a 7.
Yes, you did.
I liked it.
Your review was and then my second favorite. I hate to give two, but you kind of did already. But recently, man, I thought Saw X was really good, and I do have some gripes with it. But here's the thing about Saw X: Saw 6, Saw 7, Jigsaw, and Spiral were terrible. There's no way around it. I think Saw 5 was the last great one in my opinion. So this one felt a good, true return to form. My only issue, I don't think this is spoiling anything because it's in the trailer. My only issue with Saw 10 is that the so-called the victims, you can't sympathize for them. You can't root for them. They're bad people. Whereas in the other movies, he captures flawed people that you're rooting for, that you want them to escape. I didn't feel that in this movie. But in terms of execution and character development of Jigsaw, this was the best one since Saw 5. So I know you already gave your review and stuff, but man, go ahead. I mean, it's really a hot movie right now. How'd you feel?
Yeah, I actually, because I was able to see this at a press screening out in Vegas. Lionsgate flew me out, so I had watched it for the first time with my critic cap on, like very hardcore, and I ended up giving it a 7 out of 10. And I watched it actually 2 days ago, and I got to watch it with like just my Saw fan cap on, and had such a fun time from start to finish. Like, I never once have regretted a rating that I've given for a review, but as soon as I got out of the theater the second time, I was like, crap, I should have given it an 8 out of 10. That's not a 7 out of 10 movie.
Yeah, but a 7, I think 7 or an 8 is fair.
Agreed. And
it's just exciting because, like, Saw, like, obviously the first Saw movie came out when I was just finishing up high school, so, like, what like, Friday the 13th was in the 80s is what Saw was in, like, the 2000s. So I'm kind of glad that he's gotten a revival. So
as someone that I used to have a Halloween party because it came out while I was actually in high school. So I would have a Halloween party with my friends, and we would always go and see the new Saw every single year. Or it's like, I love annual tradition like that. We don't really have that anymore. I mean, I guess technically the VHS series has started that because now this is now the third in a row in terms of sequential years.
I know I haven't seen any VHS. I saw VHS 1, 2, and what was the third one called? It was like Viral. Yeah, I didn't see any of them after Viral. I stopped at. It's not that I stopped because I stopped. It's just like usually those movies go straight to streaming, and now they're on Shudder, and I got to get caught back up. I personally thought the second one was the best one among the first three. But here's the thing, though. I feel like it's like a modernized, like, anthology. Like it's like modern Twilight Zone, but like hardcore. Mm-hmm. Almost. Yeah. If that makes any sense.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. Yeah, I think that's spot on.
And Tyler, what? Let me ask you this: what do you think deserves like the revival treatment? Obviously, we had Halloween had its revival. Exorcist is getting theirs right now. Saw just got theirs. What horror franchise you think like needs a revival or either a reboot or a legacy sequel? What would you pick?
Technically it's happening, but Friday the 13th desperately needs a new entry. Desperately. The fact that we're on 14 years since we've had a Friday the 13th, and I understand there's the fan films, but I'm sorry, those aren't Friday the 13th. Like, I want Friday the 13th.
The game was good. The video game was good.
Yes, the game was good. However, they lost support. Like, they stopped updating. Now it's all glitchy and messed up, and then they're delisting it at the end of the year. And I'm just like, I just want, and even the stuff that has come out about that Crystal Lake show that they're making, I'm worried. Like, it just doesn't feel like Friday the 13th. It feels like they're gonna do some weird legacy thing that I don't know. I don't need A24 Friday the 13th, I guess is what I'm saying.
Now, let me ask you this. Do you want it to be a reboot, or do you want it to be a continuation from where Manhattan picked off or picked up from? Like, where would you want to see the franchise go?
I think we're far enough in that you kind of don't even need to reboot. You can just have another entry where it's like you don't need to do Jason's origin. Just have Jason and have a different group of campers or counselors at Crystal Lake. We don't need like the explanation of like, oh, is this? It's kind of like the Friday the 13th reboot. It really did a good job of. I mean, it's a reboot, but. I mean, I don't know about you, but I personally just view it as another sequel because it still fits in line with all the other sequels. And yes, they do show like they show in the beginning like him cutting off or the Pamela Voorhees getting her head cut off, but it's just a recreation of the exact scene from the original, so we can still infer that that's the same like world. It's not. I don't know. It doesn't destroy my like view of what's going on, and I don't know. It's a weird thing where I don't agree with how just the things that I've heard about that Friday the 13th show is basically what I'm getting at. I don't think that Jason is meant for TV.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I'm not gonna lie to you. Oh man, I don't know if I should say this on air, but I hated the Chucky show. Like. I hate the Chucky show. I gave it a chance. I watched the whole first season. I hated it with a passion. So
I never finished it.
I just feel like, but anyway, what I'm getting at is I'm agreeing with you. I feel like there's a lot of horror movies that deserves to be like movies, not series. It didn't work for me. So I would love to see a new Friday the 13th where if it picks up like from either after Jason Goes to Hell or after. It don't matter. Just a new entry is fine with me. Yeah. I really want to see. I don't think it can happen, but I would love to see one more Nightmare on Elm Street with Robert Englund. One more with Robert Englund. I know he's well into his 70s now, but I just feel like I hated the one with the one with Jack Earl Haley.
So bad.
hated it. I love Freddy vs. Jason. I loved Freddy vs. Jason. I loved it. That was such a great movie-going experience. I went with my dad, of all people. But, like, I just feel like even if it's, like, a continuation from where Freddy's dead and Freddy vs. Jason picked up from, or if it's like another thing like New Nightmare, which I think is very underrated, Wes Craven's New Nightmare, I just want another Freddy Krueger with Robert Englund. I don't care how they do it, whether if it's a standalone movie or a continuation. I just want to see Robert Englund as Freddy one last time, if it's remotely possible.
I mean, bring back Heather Langenkamp. Like, I'm 100% down.
Yeah.
There's so many ways to do it. Where I'm Nightmare on Elm Street is one of those things where I love it so much, and I have such after that 2010 version. I worry that they won't be able to do it correctly. It's kind of, so I saw in the chat someone mentioned, Goji Shea mentioned the Alien franchise as a good contender for like a comeback, which we have the new Fede Alvarez movie that's coming out that sounds like it's going to be a return to form.
Well,
because like, I don't know about you.
Prey was good. I didn't think it was great, but Prey was good.
That's Predator though.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, if Predator got its revival, I think, I believe that Alien. Now, I'm the minority here. I actually liked Prometheus, but I hated Alien Covenant. I
hated both.
I
don't. But I'm the guy that I can watch Resurrection and not hate it, or I'm just like, okay, that's a movie.
I mean, you're not. It's not gonna compare between the first and Aliens, the first two movies. But if we can get a decent movie that's the best one since Aliens, I'm all for it.
I'm a defender of 3, so I just want it to be as good as 3.
I don't hate 3. It's just 3 is whatever to me. Resurrection's whatever to me. I hated Alien vs. Predator, both of them. And here's the thing, I was so hyped. I'm a huge Paul Anderson fan. I loved what he did with Mortal Kombat, Event Horizon, Resident Evil. The first 2 Resident Evils, I should say, to be specific. I know he got carried. I still enjoy all the Resident Evil movies. I'm a diehard Resident Evil. We'll get to that. We'll talk Resident Evil in a minute. But the first 2 Resident Evil movies are great, and I
enjoy them.
They got carried away after. But anyway, what I'm getting is Paul Anderson. I love Paul Anderson. I was hyped up for Alien vs. Predator when I found out he was directing. I was so excited, and man, was I deflated. I was so deflated when I saw that movie, and then the one that came after that, Requiem, was even worse. So it's just like, ugh.
Requiem is one of the biggest pieces of shit that I have ever seen. I don't think that there's like no redeemable characters in it. They ruin the Predator, they ruin the Alien. It's like, it's amazing how much they're able to accomplish in a bad way in that like 80 minutes.
I will say this, I did appreciate the first Alien vs. Predator more after watching the second one. And I did appreciate what they were going for in the first movie. It just wasn't executed. I guess I would have liked it more if it was rated R, and 2, I hated seeing the Predator team up with the humans. I hated it. Hated that. That's what turned me off, is the moment that they teamed up with that lady there to kill the queen. It was just like, ruined it for me. Like, because the whole tagline was, whoever wins, we lose. You know, like, that was very misleading. So,
especially when they have that, because in the unrated version, it has the great opening where you're seeing the end of like the prior game from like 100 years ago, where it's these people and they get brutally murdered. Like, that's what I want. And then it's like, that's the only cool scene in the whole movie, which is not even in the PG-13 version. They cut it.
And then Prey, like, okay, so Prey. Okay, I have a little bit of issues with the arc of Prey, and there was a couple things I would have done differently, but Prey compared to like Predators, the one with the bulldog predator, like I hated that, and I'm not the biggest fan of Predator 2, truth be told.
Me neither.
I thought Predator. What's the one that had Adrian Brody?
That's Predators.
That one was okay. I didn't like the one. I think it was called The Predator, the one with the bulldog and
the Shane Black one.
Olivia Munn. Yeah, that was terrible. But Prey was decent. I enjoyed it. So I hope we get another great Predator movie. But nothing will ever compare. Arnold Schwarzenegger is my hero. Nothing will ever compare to the first one. I want to see one more Predator movie with Dutch.
Same.
I want to see bring back Dutch. That's what I want. I want to see Dutch come back for another Predator sequel.
Wait, so you're a big Schwarzenegger fan? Because that's
hard.
Oh yeah, we're gonna bond on that then. I love me some Schwarzenegger. I know
because I mean, hero.
On the Joe Blow side, I know that Sly Stallone is the big guy for everyone, but Schwarzenegger has always been my guy. Always.
I did the Joe Blow face off Stallone versus Schwarzenegger. I wrote that. I wrote that.
Nice.
I didn't edit it. I wrote that because I forgot. I didn't edit it because I forgot I was busy with something. But I wrote the script. Oh, I know why. Because I went to Chicago. I went on vacation to Chicago. So I busted out the script and I sent it to. I think, did Kier do it? I want to say Kier. Somebody edited it. I don't know if it was Kier or.
Yeah, probably Kier.
But yeah. So yeah, I'm really proud of that video, and I'm glad all the views that it got. So yeah, I love. Like I said, I'm a diehard Stallone fan, diehard Schwarzenegger fan. So like, it was absolutely fun breaking those two down and whatever. But yeah.
What's your favorite Schwarzenegger movie?
Terminator 2. Not even close. Terminator 2 is one of my top 5 favorite movies of all time. I saw the first Terminator movie when I was 5, and it scared the living fuck out of me. Like, when you're in like, when you're like 5, 6 years old, and you see this like killer machine with flesh ripping off his face, trying to kill this woman, it's terrifying.
Yes.
And then a few years later, I think I was in like 2nd grade when I watched Terminator 2, and like seeing him as the good guy, and seeing him team up with a kid. It made me connect with the movie that much more, and of course it carried through to my teens and my adult years, and it's my all-time favorite, one of my all-time favorite movies of all time. I love that movie. Anything Schwarzenegger, I'm down for. I haven't watched Fubar yet. I need to watch Fubar, but yeah, Arnold's the man.
Yeah,
top 5 movie for me.
I can't say I've watched Fubar either, but I'm real bad with TV. TV is such a long investment where I'm like, I can.
Yeah, that's just it. When you're editing all this material, like, you don't have time to watch shit like TV shows and whatever.
Yeah,
I'm watching Generation V. I made sure I made time for Generation V. I don't know if
How do you like it?
Not as good as The Boys, but I went in, I leveled my expectations because I knew this was filmed during the pandemic. I know this is a spin-off.
Yeah.
I know the CGI is spotty, but I like it a lot. I like it a lot.
Nice.
To me, whereas The Boys was more like Justice League, this is more like X-Men / New Mutants, but rated R, and I love it.
You mean New Mutants as in the comic, not the movie, right?
Yes. And shout out to Patrick Schwarzenegger. It just
is he good? Because he's barely in the trailer. I was worried he's not in it much.
What you just said. I'm not gonna spoil it, but what you just said.
Okay.
What you just said. And you know who else is in it? Clancy Brown's in it too.
Love me some Clancy Brown. Hell yeah.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Kurgan.
I love The Boys, so I'll definitely check it out because I
worth checking out.
I read the first 4 volumes of the comic and absolutely loved it, and so it took me a little bit to get into the show, but once I did, I was all on board.
Okay. I got one more question for you, and then we can make transition to games. But I mentioned top 5 movies. We did top 5 horror. What's your top 5 movies in general?
Top 5 movies in general?
Yeah.
Ooh, I would say David Fincher's Seven.
Excellent. 4K release coming.
I know. I have been waiting to rewatch it specifically because of that 4K release.
Yes.
Yes, I'm a big technical nerd. So as soon as him talking about how he's going in and adjusting the levels on the windows, I'm like, yes, I love that. But then Back to the Future is a huge one for me.
Nice.
Dazed and Confused.
Oh, okay.
Terminator 2 as well.
Yeah.
And then I'm trying to get like the whole gamut of stuff that I enjoy. Like American Beauty.
Oh,
maybe.
Okay.
Actually, no, that's a terrible one because of Kevin Spacey. I can't mention a
Kevin
Spacey one
Spacey's
in my
in
tops.
7. I mean,
Oh
you said
shit,
7.
yes. But I can only have one Kevin Spacey in my
There
top.
There we go.
Because otherwise, it's like it makes me seem like a fan. Usual Suspects. Just kidding.
Real quick on Kevin Spacey, like I cannot. First of all, I hated Superman Returns, but now I can't. But now you got Bryan Singer behind the camera, and you got Kevin Spacey on camera. I am terrified to know what the hell was going on behind the scenes of that goddamn movie. Just saying.
All I'm saying is I did the Superman Returns DC Revisited, and there was a lot of stuff where I was like, I'm not mentioning that. I'm not mentioning that. It's like,
your girlfriend, woof. Like, no.
Yeah, like there's a lot of stuff that went along where it's like, oh, who are all these young boys that he just like has like on staff? Where it's like,
that's fucked up. And like,
at one point he does a prank on his production designer, and it is the meanest thing. Where I was just like, this is very insightful to like just what a bad person Singer is.
Well, here's the thing. Besides the fact you got the 2 biggest scumbags in Hollywood in that movie, but like, I hated the fact that they were trying hard to like continue Christopher Reeve. I thought it was an insult to Christopher Reeve.
Yeah, it didn't feel like it.
Yeah, so I'm a huge fan of Man of Steel. Like, come at me. Man of Steel is the shit, dude. I feel like Man of Steel. Okay, whether if you like Snyder or not, you gotta say this. Man of Steel is the closest thing we have to a Dragon Ball Z movie. You know, like.
I will say that.
Like, come on, man. Like, here's the thing I don't understand. DC fans are the worst, like the worst goddamn people. Everybody got mad at Superman Returns, like, oh my god, Superman didn't throw any punches. And then we get Man of Steel, and they're like, oh, Superman was making out with Lois after they wrecked the whole city. Like fuck you. Like, what do you guys want? Man of Steel was awesome. I know it's not perfect, but my god, was that a solid superhero flick, man. And like, yeah. So it's just,
I'm at a weird spot with DC stuff because I do DC Revisited, and I don't like letting my opinion out there as to how I feel about a lot of the DC movies.
It's okay. It's fine. We can keep that behind closed. Like I said, I appreciate the fact that you do your DC Revisited and you keep it unbiased and insightful and whatever. And I look forward to those revisited
I really appreciate that because those are some of the hardest videos that I do. So
not just that,
that goes appreciated.
You did the Flash with like before it even came to streaming. I'm like, oh damn! When you said the beginning, like, oh yeah, I only got so much footage to work with. I'm like, dude, you pulled that off good, bro. Like, that was a great video.
I appreciate that because that's the kind of thing that non-editors don't really think about. Or it's like, it's like as soon as it was even came across from like. Wait a minute, the movie's not released digitally. Where am I going to get this footage from? How am I going to be able to talk about this or that? Or it was a very tough edit. I will just say that it took a long time, and I had to pull clips. It was thankfully I watched those because anytime I do a DC Revisited, usually I watch the movie like once or twice at least. And so it's like I've had a lot of those moments to pull from where I'm like, okay. Jason Momoa shows up here in this scene in this area, like Gal Gadot shows up here in this area where I'm like, so then I can use it for the Flash. Where otherwise, if I hadn't known the movie well, it would have been much more difficult. But then it released digitally like I want to say a week later, and I was just like, no.
Yeah, it was just mind blowing, like how hard that movie flopped. I liked it. Because I felt like this was like this is like the goodbye to the Snyderverse. Like, I was happy to see, Affleck and Gal Gadot and all of them one last time. I know the movie was a mess, but it was nice seeing them one last time. And there were some moments I really liked, especially Michael Shannon with probably the best line in the whole movie, where he's like, what do you say? He's like, the infant didn't survive. Oh God, that was the best part of the movie. Like Michael Shannon, no matter. Props to Michael Shannon. Like I feel like he's underappreciated. He never gets the credit like he deserves. Like he gives it his all, even if he's just laying dead in Batman vs Superman. Like that man gives it his all in every performance. So, and also, have you ever seen the movie The Night Before with Seth Rogen?
Yes, I have. He's fantastic in that. Is like the drug dealer.
Yes.
Yes. The first time I watched that, I was just like, what? How did they get Michael Shannon to do this role? And it seems like he's having a blast.
It was so fun. I think what made it funny was it's like, oh my God, that's General Zod and Falcon doing a drug deal.
There's been just so many movies that he's just so evil in. So if anything, it's I think of like Shape of Water. He's such a like scumbag in that, or then seeing that, it's so different. And did you ever see the Criterion Closet with him in it? There's been a ton of memes that have been made from it.
No, I don't think so.
So for anyone that doesn't know what Criterion Closet is, Criterion Collection, they'll invite different filmmakers and actors into their little closet, which has all of essentially their entire catalog, and then the people will just like go through and like they'll take it out and they get to take them home and they'll like talk about why they like it. Michael Shannon's is the best, and there's been so many memes that have come from it. It's phenomenal. If you haven't seen it, highly recommend it.
I will definitely look into it. Okay, so it's 8:45 here, so I respect everybody's time. So here's what I want to do. We're going to kind of segue a little bit. We're going to talk some gaming now, because I've been dying to talk. By the way, for those who don't know, Tyler was kind enough to make a Mount Rushmore. Yes, this is not Tyler's first time on NerdCage, as he had a cameo in our Mount Rushmore of video game characters. So we're going to transition to video games. Before we transition, though, and Joe, I hope you're still in the chat, buddy, we have a special announcement here at NerdCage Live. As I say to my fellow NerdCage Nation people, everyone who supports me, I just want to start by saying thank you for supporting me. When you guys support us, you guys give us the ability to bring in guests from all aspects of life. So that being said, I bleed NerdCage Live, okay? I am always reaching out to celebrities, to writers, to critics, to athletes, you name it. So anybody who knows me personally, and I've publicly said on NerdCage Live, and I've publicly said on Facebook, I'm a huge fan of this person we're about to announce. Very, very excited to bring in this person. So I'm happy to break this announcement right here, right now. Let me just do one thing here. I just gotta go to YouTube Studio real quick because I have to make it from unlisted to public. So here we go, guys. So, ladies and gentlemen of NerdCage Nation, feast your eyes on this. Behold. Yes, 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 yes. Heather Heat Hardy, boxer, MMA fighter, is going to be on NerdCage Live Thursday, November 2nd, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Be there. Oh my God, I'm so goddamn giddy. Oh,
that's awesome, man. Congratulations.
I cannot believe she... Oh my God, I'm like blushing, like, yes, she's my favorite fighter.
That is very, very cool.
Yes.
I mean, she's. I remember because I go on the MMA subreddit on Reddit, and they went like right around the time that she was transitioning into MMA. I feel like every single time one of her workouts would be posted because it's like she's a cute girl who fights. So of course.
I know, right? She's like a video game character brought to life. She's like Sonya or Cammy or Samus, like.
Yeah, she very much is like Sonya Blade.
yeah. So like, I guess I'm not separate. Heather, if you happen to be watching, thank you, because I did shoot. But anyway, I DM'd her on Instagram, and I was like, hey, you want to come on my show? And she's like, absolutely. I'm like, what? So
that is so cool.
I cannot wait because I have a lot of questions for her because I've been watching her for a minute, so I definitely we're definitely going to talk boxing, and we're definitely going to talk her career, and we're definitely going to talk, all things pop culture as usual, what her favorite movies are, etc. But I cannot wait to get into like asking her about like her face-offs, like I want to know some of her wild face-off stories, So Heather Heat Hardy, one of Brooklyn's finest. November 2nd, guys, mark your goddamn calendars, be there. Have your questions ready. Now, here's the best part. If we have any disrespectful motherfuckers in the chat, you know what? I don't have to worry about knocking you guys out. She'll fucking do it. So, but yes, thank you to NerdCage Nation. Because of you people, our supporters, that's the reason why I'm able to get your Heather Hardys and your Daniel Pacinas and etc. So, look forward to that, guys. That'll be November 2nd. All right.
Fun. Actually, a nice little transition, not into video games from that, but the MMA. When I was at the Saw X event in Vegas, I met MMA fighter Joanne Wood, who's formerly Joanne Calderwood, who's like a UFC fighter. So nice. It's like, yeah, it's like a little bit of a connection there. It's like, that was very strange. And same with Chris Van Vliet, he's like the very popular interviewer for like MMA and wrestlers. He was also at that little premiere. So,
and I know you're a wrestling guy too. I know you went to WWE recently. Who would you say your favorite wrestlers are, and who's your favorite MMA fighters?
Let's see. Yeah, I was actually at SummerSlam this year, and
so was our friend Sean Wick was there too. He's from Detroit.
Nice. And it was real fun. Favorite wrestlers, I mean, it's an awkward time to say it because he just got fired recently, but CM Punk
I love CM Punk. I'm a straight edge. I love CM Punk. I always root for him because I'm a straight edge. So I know there's been some ugly behind the scenes there, but I always even when he went to MMA and got his ass, I rooted for him. I want to see him succeed. You know, it's
same.
He represents us straight edge, so yeah. I always like seeing him fun.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of him, and I wish that things didn't go like how they did, but then otherwise, like Bryan Danielson is, I mean, I've been a massive, whether he's Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson in ROH, like I'm a huge fan. So that's on the wrestling side, those are the big ones. And then MMA, Max Holloway is huge for me. I absolutely love Max Holloway, and she retired, but Joanna Jędrzejczyk she pretty much got me. She's one of the people that got me into like MMA. So, and I wish I could say Conor, but not so much anymore. I mean, Conor.
I can't stand that motherfucker. I can't stand him.
His rise to the belt and like the Alvarez things, it's practically like a movie. Yeah. But I don't care for anything after. The funny thing is, 205.
I'm a boxing guy. Obviously, you know, others coming on the show, but like, I'm a diehard boxing fan, and I'm not a Mayweather fan. But I'll tell you this: the only time I rooted for Mayweather is when he faced McGregor. So when I saw Mayweather knock him out, it put a smile on my face, and the best part was I was watching that fight with like McGregor fans, and I threw the bowl of popcorn in the air, like, yeah, like. But yeah.
Which then people that don't know boxing, they're like, oh, he's not out. What? Why did they stop the fight? It's like,
he was
the ref
going
is saving
down.
him. Yeah, the ref is saving him.
This.
Like,
credit to where credit's due. I didn't think McGregor was going to make it past round 4. He made it to round 10. McGregor's biggest mistake is he should have stayed in boxing. I think he would have made a shit ton of money if he stayed in boxing. I think he could have won some big profile fights in boxing because he went toe-to-toe with Mayweather, the best that ever did it. I don't like him, but the best who ever did it, at least in modern time anyway. He went 10 fucking rounds with Mayweather. He should have stayed. I would have loved to see him fight Paulie Malignaggi, the one that trained him at first. I think that would have been a great fight.
I thought for sure that was gonna happen. It seemed like it was going to.
Yeah. Shout out to Paulie Malignaggi because now he's part of Pro Box TV. But like, yeah, that would have been I would have paid money to watch that fight.
Instead we just got Artem versus him and bare knuckle.
So, but yeah, I'm kind of like dabbing my toes in the MMA right now just a little bit. Shout out to John Jones Bones. He's from my era. He's from Endicott, New York, which is near Syracuse. Him and Chandler Jones are from this area. I look forward to the Francis Ngannou Tyson Fury fight. I hate Tyson Fury. I know he's gonna win, but I'm gonna be rooting so hard for Francis.
Same. I'm a big Francis guy.
Francis can just land one. I feel if he can just land one, he can do it. But I just feel like Fury is too fast, too smooth. He's gonna take him to deep waters and get him tired and knock him out. But my God, am I gonna be rooting so hard for Francis? So. Yeah. Good luck to Francis. I will be watching the fight. Hell, we might even go live on NerdCage and watch the fight. Who knows? But nice. that's gonna be awesome. We look forward to it.
So I'm curious though. You're a boxing guy. What's your opinion of the like the influencer boxing that's been going on?
I can't say I'm a fan of it, but at the same time, the one positive thing is it is bringing a new audience to boxing. In fact, Heather Hardy just fought on the undercard of Jake Paul a few months ago against Amanda Serrano, which we're probably going to talk about because that's her recent fight. She lost, but she fought well. But yeah, I can't say I mean, I'm stupid enough to pay for it. I'm stupid, or at least stream it another way. But, I can't stand the fact that there are some boxers who deserve a payday and deserve a shot. Meanwhile, the Paul brothers are making a mockery of the sport. But at the same time, I'm conflicted because it is bringing an audience in. So I guess I'm in the middle. I'm in the middle, but I can't say that I'm happy about it. I will say this though, I I do like some of them celebrity matches with, like, when we saw Chad Ochocinco fight and who's that? Bell,
Le'Veon Bell.
Le'Veon
Bell, yeah.
I
interesting things.
Yeah. So that I can kind of get behind because I like seeing some of these athletes I grew up watching, and I like.
That's the same thing with like when Greg Hardy went into MMA, where it's like, oh, I want to see someone that was in the NFL and how their athleticism transfers to MMA. But
so there's some stuff I like about it, but there's some stuff I can't stand. But I like group. Like I love Terrence Crawford. I love Deontay Wilder. Like those are my dudes. And, shout out to Canelo who just beat the crap out of fucking Charlo.
Charlo, yeah.
Charlo was chirping for years, but I think he just wanted a payday. But yeah, I think boxing.
I'm just happy I didn't get knocked out.
But boxing's in a good position. I think boxing's in a good position right now because I think even though MMA is in a much better position, but I think boxing is having its moment. Here's the thing: we're finally gonna have an undisputed champion in December. Fury and Usyk are fighting in December. We're finally gonna have a heavyweight undisputed fight.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
First time
years.
in how long?
20 years. Yeah. Lennox Lewis was the last one to hold all the titles. And then we also
that's insane.
Yeah. So there's some good matches. So here's the thing about boxing. Yeah, they don't bring consistently good matches like MMA does. But when boxing is on, it is on. I mean, we just had Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis. We just had Bud Crawford and Errol Spence. We're about to get undisputed with Fury. Like when it's on, it is on. But there's not enough consistency of good fights out there right now.
Yeah.
And I feel like with Mayweather and Pacquiao both gone, I think the sport took a hit, personally.
Oh, absolutely.
So yeah. So that's my basic rundown of it. But yeah, Heather's my absolute favorite female boxer. And that's another thing too, is that I really didn't. I feel like women's boxing is in a good position right because you got Clarissa Shields.
I was just about to say Clarissa Shields. Oh
and
my god.
And she won fights in MMA. So women's boxing is getting better and better. And like I said, when I saw Heather fight, it caught my attention. So I've been following her for a minute now, and to have her on the show in November, I'm floored. I'm absolutely fucking floored. So yeah.
That is so cool.
Yeah. So I guess I'll say it. I'm not gonna say who. Another boxer has agreed to come on the show, but this boxer wants to wait until his next fight is announced. So I'll just say that Heather is going to be one of more boxers coming on NerdCage Live. That's all I'm going to say. I probably shouldn't have said this out loud, but let's just say that I got a verbal agreement from another boxer. I won't say who this boxer is, but
that's okay, because even if it doesn't happen, that you just reach out to a different boxer and no one's any of the wiser.
But it's just amazing, they see my platform and they're just like, yeah, let's go. So we're excited. Like I said, we're excited. I'm just gonna say it one more time. We are excited to have Heather Heat Hardy, one of Brooklyn's finest. Let's get ready to... Sorry, she is 24. Wait. Yeah, she's 24-2 in boxing, and she's 2-3 in MMA. So look forward to that. She's gonna have plenty of stories to tell, and she's had a tremendous career. 9:00. Fuck it. Let's talk video games. So again, you did the Mount Rushmore with us, so thank you very much for that. So what are your favorite games? I'll make it easier. What are your favorite game franchises? Go.
Game franchises, that makes it much easier. So yes. Mass Effect is a massive one for me. I absolutely love the Mass Effect series. Pretty much have played those multiple times all the way through. The Elder Scrolls series is also another one, like Skyrim. I mean, and obviously like Bethesda in general. I just put in 3 days into Starfield. So
I was just about to ask if you've been playing Starfield, because I haven't got it yet. I've been wanting to. I know I'm not gonna have time to play, but I haven't. Is it worth purchasing or should I wait?
I mean, do you like Bethesda games?
Not really, but
then wait.
Okay, because I love the idea.
I mean, it's just like any other Bethesda game.
Okay.
If you like, I mean, it still has good space exploration, but it's one of those things where it's like, I think some people are expecting like not a Bethesda game in it,
Yeah.
where it's like, oh, it's still got everything that you would expect from a Bethesda game, but genuinely, I think it's the best story they've ever done, ever. It's the ending is fucking mind blowing. It's so good. Like, I can't say enough.
You actually got through the campaign.
Oh, I've beaten it. Yes, beaten all.
Wow.
That's in 3 days I had in it. Like when I finished. Yeah, and even then, I'm sure I missed out on stuff. But like, anytime I wasn't working, I was either playing Starfield or Baldur's Gate 3. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, a lot of people have been posting about Baldur's Gate on our group page. What about? I know you're a Doom fan, right?
Yeah, I really enjoy the Doom series. The especially the new ones are they're so. I love the scores to them.
Oh yeah, shout out to Mick Gordon, who also did the Killer Instinct remake. I would love to see him do music for a Mortal Kombat game, but
that would be great.
I love Doom 2016. I didn't care for Doom Eternal that much, if you want the honest truth. I never finished Doom Eternal.
I didn't finish it either, but I just kind of attributed that to being busy. But it has a similar feel to 2016. But yeah, there is something that's just off about it. I'm not sure what it is.
Oh my god! Funny story. So when Doom 2016 first came out, I bought like the Ultra Edition that came with like the statue. My dog chewed it up. Oh my god, it was gut-wrenching.
That is the worst. I could not imagine. Like,
I cried because I knew I was not replacing it. And people are selling it for ungodly amount on eBay, but like, I was like, when I saw my dog, like, he chewed up the whole thing, tore the leg off and everything, and I'm just like, I ran into the bedroom and cried. Like, I was like, I knew it. And my dog had the audacity to come lay on the bed with me and try to cheer me. I'm like, you just ruined my Doom stage.
I remember that. It was a really cool little collector. Wasn't it like 150 on release?
Yes, yeah, and I don't know if it was 80 or 150. Maybe it was 80. I don't remember. But it had like the fan. It had like you put the batteries. It had like the fan underneath. Like, it was so cool, and my dog destroyed it. Oh god.
That sucks.
Yeah.
That's why you can't have nice things sometimes.
I mean, my dog is long past that showing phase now, but he was still a puppy at the time. A big one. He's a sailor. He's a big one. And just like, I knew it. As soon as I saw it, I knew it. Like, I knew it.
Oh, and in terms of video games, I will say too, I have an absurd amount of time in Fight Night Champion and like the UFC games.
We need a new Fight Night game, bro. Like Big Pat, shout out to Big Pat Sports Talk. He's a Giants YouTuber. I'm a Giants fan. He's a Giants YouTuber, and we were talking about Fight Night. Like, I'm like, yo, we need a new Fight Night game. Like, Fight Night Round 3 is my favorite, but like, we need a new. I know they keep releasing UFC every couple of years, but come on, give us a Fight Night game, please. Those games are amazing.
With the joysticks, like there's something about it that's just so much fun that they don't. Because I like the MMA games. I have an absurd amount of time in them, like an absurd amount of time. I think between 2, 3, and 4, I have something around like 4,000 hours. Like,
nice.
It's on. Genuinely, I play it like once a day, even if I'm just playing a match. It's my like go-to, just like stress relief game. Just beat someone up.
Okay. Now, since you're a horror buff, what would you say? And you do Playing with Fear, obviously. What are your favorite like horror themed games or like horror movies brought into games?
So I really like that Friday the 13th game.
Yeah.
It's kind of a little bit ruined now with the servers being all messed up, but it's still real fun. And I would say Alien Isolation's probably like one of the better horror games that I've played over the last decade even. But like The Quarry, I enjoyed that one, which is more recent. There's a certain style of horror game that I'm really not into, like the Outlast series. I don't like the whole like just being scared and not having a weapon, like that kind of thing. That doesn't really jive with me. But like the Resident Evil. I love any of the Resident Evils.
All right, so we're diehard Resident Evil fans here. In fact, we are playing Resident Evil 3 Old School on Twitch right now for Spooky Games.
Oh, nice.
What's your favorite Resident? What do you think? What's your favorite Resident Evil game?
Probably 2.
Remake or original?
Remake.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I love both of them. I love both of them for different reasons. I think
you gotta
like
go with the original. You're nostalgia. You gotta get nostalgia.
I love both of them. I might like the remake a little more, but
really. I feel like the nostalgia of like switching discs and stuff for the like...
three is my all-time favorite, and then
really
both twos like, and then.
So I'm curious. What about 3? But what about 3? Because I've always been so fascinated with Resident Evil series, specifically 3 and Code Veronica, because
yes, Code Veronica's hell underrated.
And I assume you know the story of how Code Veronica was supposed to be 3. And,
yep. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why like 3 really does. It's so short and feels like kind of a spin-off versus Code Veronica, which feels in line. But that's always how I felt about it. So I'm curious if it's your favorite. What's your opinion on it?
3's my favorite. Here's why I like 3's my favorite. I love the fact that you're being hunted. There's a feeling of dread that Nemesis is coming at. Where in Resident Evil 2. I'm so glad because we've been talking about this. Me and my roommate been talking about, and me and Joe and Twitch been talking about. So the thing about the original Resident Evil 2, when you face off against Mr. X / Tyrant, you just basically take him down, and then he shows up later. He doesn't chase you. Nemesis chases you. There's a feeling. And another thing I love about Resident Evil 3, Jill's my favorite character, by the way. I fucking love Jill. Jill is, I love Jill.
Yeah.
The thing about 3 is that you get to see the whole city. Resident Evil 1 just takes place in the mansion. Resident Evil 2 primarily takes place at the police, for the most part, the police station. Resident Evil 3, you get to see the whole damn city. It's a whole escape sequence. So there's something about this whole city escape, and you're being hunted by the Nemesis. And I also think Nikolai, besides Wesker, is the best human villain besides Wesker. So the feeling of dread and the feeling of escapism is the reason why Resident Evil 3 is my favorite. And I don't think it's too short. The remake was short. The remake was painfully short. I think Resident Evil 3 is my favorite, and then Resident Evil 2 is my second favorite. Both versions. Now here's the thing. The Resident Evil 2 remake, this is where they fucked up the remake here. Don't get me wrong, I love Resident Evil 2 remake, but in Resident Evil 2 remake, Mr. X is constantly chasing you. That's what Nemesis should have been. So in the Resident Evil 3 remake, it's linear, and Nemesis only appears, and then he doesn't chase you. They got it backwards. It should have been the other way around. So
okay.
I just didn't like the fact that. Don't worry, like I said, I love Resident Evil 2 remake. I just wish that the Nemesis in the 3 remake was chasing you like Mr. X was in the 2 remake. Because the original Resident Evil 3, you're being chased constantly. Like, I'm playing it right now for the first time in like 20 years, and I'm like, oh my god, is he gonna show up? Is he gonna show up? You know?
See, and that's the kind of thing I just as a person in life, I'm very anxious, and I'm always have anxiety, and so in a game that then has those moments where you're just like being chased constantly, so then you're just like anxious the whole time. I'm not into that. That's why the third Resident. That's why I was so curious, because I'm like, that's the one element that I'm like, I still have not played the third, like the remake, because I'm like, I can't do a whole game of him chasing me.
But that's just it. He's not chasing you. You face off against him and then you get past him, and it's Resident Evil 3 remake is linear. It's completely linear, whereas Resident Evil 2 remake, you get to explore. Resident Evil 3 is linear, the remake, and you're basically every time you get into a Nemesis encounter, you just escape. You don't fight them.
Okay.
I beat Resident Evil 3 remake in one sitting. I got the game a day early. Like, I pre-ordered it and then arrived a day early. I beat it in one sitting and didn't even die. I beat it in like 6 hours in one sitting and I didn't even die once.
That's too easy.
So yeah, so just a heads up, like that anxiety you're talking about, it's not in the 3 remake at all.
That's interesting because I with the second one with Tyrant, isn't it Tyrant in the
Mr. X Tyrant never stops, and it gets
because I was like,
scary at first.
Yes,
but then it gets annoying because then when you're trying to solve a puzzle, all of a sudden you hear boom, 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 and you're like, God damn it, you're interrupting the puzzle. Like,
see, and I thought that's what all the third game was like just that the whole game. Okay, so maybe I will try out 3.
I guarantee you will beat it in one sitting. I guarantee it. Code Veronica needs a remake.
I don't understand how they haven't done, it seems like the most obvious choice for them to do next, because I'm hearing they're doing 5 next. That doesn't make sense.
We actually just finished playing 5 on Twitch co-op, and 5 still holds up. So we did play Code Veronica, but it needs a remake. It really needs a remake. So
weren't they supposed to be doing like the first game again?
Those are rumors. What I'm hearing is right now they are working on Resident Evil 9. So hoping it's good. I thought Resident Evil 8. Don't make me wrong. Who didn't like Lady D, but I thought Resident Evil 8 was a little bit more on the action-y side. See, Resident Evil 7 was scary. Resident Evil 8 was not. So Resident Evil 8 was more in the vein of Resident Evil 4 and 5, where it's more of an action survival than horror survival. I personally,
I should say I have not played 8 yet. It's one of those games where it's been on my list. I'm gonna get the gold edition eventually.
Did you play 7?
Yes, I love 7.
Okay, yes. So 8 picks up right at the end of 7.
Yeah, Ethan is such an interesting character, and them switching it to first person, I think, was a bold choice.
I wasn't too wild. Not really. I love Chris, Jill, Leon, Claire. I like the OGs, but I didn't hate Ethan. It's just, I'm ready to move on from Ethan at this point. I'm ready to move on. I want to go back to Chris. I want to go back to even hell, bring back Sheva and Josh from 5. I'm ready to move on, but I really would like to see, like I said, Chris, Leon, and Jill back. So here's hope.
Yeah, Sheva, me and my buddy we're playing the co-op, and he and I were both just like, wait, what happened to her? She's not in 6, is she? Where does she go? She's only in 5.
Yeah, so I think it would be great to bring back and Josh too, the commando guy from 5. I'd like to see him. I'd like to see both Sheva and Josh come back for a Resident Evil game. It'll be interesting what will happen next.
Do you think that once they get to 6, they'll use it as a fix?
The less said about 6, the better.
That's what I mean. Do you think they'll just ignore it and not even do it, or do you think they'll try and treat it as their way of fixing?
Bold prediction. I think we'll get a Dino Crisis remake before they remake 6. But I guess Devil May Cry is getting a remake. I wasn't the biggest Devil May Cry fan, but I'll play it again. But Devil May Cry is getting a remake. Like I said, the rumblings that they're working on 9, and I mean, the 4 remake was okay. I'm not a huge fan of 4, but the 4 remake was an improvement over the original 4. But I really don't think 5 needs a remake. They need to go back and do Code Veronica. Again, here's hoping. Who knows? Capcom is so unpredictable, and I know right now they're riding high off of Street Fighter 6, which is pretty good, by the way. Even though I like Mortal Kombat 1 more, but also Tekken. I can't wait for Tekken. Tekken looks really good. I'm not even a Tekken person.
Yeah, I didn't even realize they were doing a new Tekken.
Yeah, January.
Oh. Soon.
Yeah, the movie's been postponed several times, but it's coming out in finally it's seeing the light of day in January. So, hoping Tekken 8 is good, but I'm looking forward to what more Mortal Kombat. Like I said, we're gonna be getting Omni-Man, and we're gonna be getting Homelander, voiced by Anthony Starr and J.K. Simmons. So,
that's
looking forward
awesome.
To that. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Any other? Are you into any retro gaming? Any Mario, Zelda, any thing super old school?
Yeah. I like the old Zeldas and Marios. I have all 3 the modern consoles, so they all have all the backwards compatible stuff, and my Switch I have all of the Nintendo services where you can then play all the old games.
Switch
and
Online,
so,
yeah.
And I haven't bought that old it's the Aladdin and Lion King games from the 90s that were on Yeah, Sega and Super Nintendo.
Jurassic Park games are coming to it, and then like
also, like it's just fun.
I know I'm really excited for it this month. It's kind of weird because it's October, but we're getting Super Mario Wonder and we're getting Sonic Superstar. So we're getting 2D Mario and 2D Sonic back. Yes.
Yeah,
I like Sonic. I hate 3D Sonic. I love old school.
Oh yeah.
2D Sonic is where it's at.
I have Mario Wonder pre-ordered because of that one deal that they were doing on Switch where it was like, get 2 games for $99. So I did that and Tears of the Kingdom.
Oh god, I'm so behind Tears of the Kingdom. I just beat the Water Temple. I need to get back to it, but
I've played 10 minutes of it.
I pre-ordered Mario RPG Remake. I still got pre-order Mario Wonder. I'm gonna say this right here, NerdCage Live. We will be playing Mario Wonder at launch on Friday, October 20th. We will play Mario Wonder at launch. And from what I'm hearing, Tyler, according to IGN, because I listened to IGN's podcast the other day, that a couple people played the Mario Wonder at PAX, and they said that this is the best 2D Mario since Super Mario World. I'm hoping that's true. I'm just stoked for new 2D Mario. So it's just a little bit of a gut punch that Charles Martinet is not voicing the characters in this game. But I'm excited for 2D Mario.
Oh, I didn't realize that he's not I knew he had retired, but I just assumed that he had voiced.
This is the first game he's not. He is voicing Luigi in the Luigi's Mansion 2 remake coming out in March. They kept his original recordings, but for this new Mario game, he's not. This is the first time new Mario voice, and Nintendo hasn't even revealed who the voice actor is yet.
It's Chris Pratt.
Don't say that, please. Everybody keeps saying that to me. Oh my god, like, please. Let's talk about the real. Did you like the Mario movie? I loved it.
Yeah, I saw it in theaters like a couple weeks after the fact and really enjoyed it.
I loved it. I want to crucify Chris Bumry for his review. I
I didn't even see it.
He gave it a 6.
Oh.
And I said to Chris, I said that right here on the channel because we had him on after the fact. I'm like, Chris, I think you missed most of the references, dude. And he's like, oh, maybe. But I'm just like, but yeah. I love the movie and I hate Chris Pratt.
I don't think
he's a nice guy. Chris Pratt's a nice guy, but that man's got no talent. I'm sorry, I can't stand him as an actor. He's a nice guy, terrible actor. So when I heard him voice Mario, I was pissed. But when I saw the movie and the context of the movie, he did fine. But Jack Black was the best part of that movie.
Yeah, I think that like people getting upset about the voices, it's one of those things that I've kind of conditioned myself to just like wait and see, because it's like, I mean, I'm a comic book fan, so we've going like way back, pretty much every single thing that's announced back to Keaton, like people are like, what?
Yeah.
No. So I'm like,
and you and I are both old enough to remember the whole Heath Ledger backlash. Like that was
yeah. Yeah, what? You're going a fucking gay cowboy is the Joker? Are you kidding? It's like, seriously? And then he is the definitive Joker to damn near everyone. So
I mean, there's been plenty of great Jokers. Hell, even Joaquin Phoenix. I cannot wait for Joker 2. I love Lady Gaga too, and I think she's gonna kill it.
Did that get delayed?
Did it? It wouldn't surprise me because Dune 2 got delayed, and then Godzilla vs. Oh my god, listen, I'm a diehard Godzilla fan, but I'm not looking forward to Godzilla vs. Kong 2, but Godzilla vs. Kong got postponed.
The first one was fun.
I hated it.
Did you not like it? Really?
Hated it.
What elements? Like the human stuff? Or like the monster stuff?
Both.
Oh, okay.
Like, it was just... Listen, I love Kong Skull Island. I enjoyed King of the Monsters. I hated 2014 Godzilla. I hated it. I enjoyed King of the Monsters enough because there was at least enough throwbacks that I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Skull Island, hands down, was the best MonsterVerse movie. It's not even close. So I was so looking forward to Godzilla vs. Kong, and I watched that 3 in the morning on HBO Max, right when it aired. And the moment I saw King Kong scratch his ass, I'm like, oh god, this movie's gonna be terrible. And then just like, the monster fights were so over the top, and like, I know it's one of those things you got to turn your brain off and enjoy it, but the problem is even when I do turn my brain off, like my brain still works a certain way, and I'm just like, this is not physically possible, and then it was just dumb, and then they threw in Mechagodzilla out of nowhere, and then the human side was just bad, and just everything about that movie was terrible. It was the worst, hands down, the worst Godzilla movie ever. Let me repeat that: the worst Godzilla movie ever made, worse than the anime trilogy. Worse than the 98 movie, worse than 2014, worse than Godzilla vs. Hedra, worse than Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla. It was the worst Godzilla movie ever made, and I am not looking forward to Godzilla vs. Kong, X Kong or whatever, but Godzilla -1, my body is ready, let's go! Yeah.
Is that the Tokyo, like the Japanese one?
Yep, December 1st in America, or no, yeah, December 1st. Let's go.
Nice.
And my birthday's in December 15 to be exact. So, birthday, Christmas coming early. Get to see a new Godzilla movie in the movie theater. I'm just waiting for them to release the pre-sale. I'm gonna jump right on.
There's that TV show too that's coming to Apple Plus. That Monarch.
I'll watch it. I'll give it a shot. I low expectations, but I'll give it a shot.
I think the thing that I like about those movies is that I like how much they really focus on like the humans and just how large the creatures are. Because even in 2014, that's the one thing that I'm like, I like how realistically it's shot, where where it's just like you're seeing bits and pieces of Godzilla, where then it to me it makes it gives him a little more, like you were saying with Godzilla versus Kong, where it's like it's like, wait, that doesn't make sense, like that physically will not work. But I think in 2014, where it's like how lumbering he is and like everything,
I appreciate 2014 a little more now after Godzilla vs. Kong, and yeah, you're right, like at least what you just said, like he was slow and lumbering, but in like Godzilla vs. Kong, he was like quick and agile, and he was quicker than Kong. I was like, this doesn't really make sense. How is he able to move that quick? Like, yeah, like when you got all that weight, gravity works a certain way. But yeah.
What did you think of the newer Mortal Kombat movie?
Oh God. So on NerdCage Live, you can go back and watch the tape. I was like leading that charge. I was like, yes, this is going to be the movie that breaks the video game. Well, Mario ended up breaking the curse, but this is going to be the movie that breaks the curse. This is the Mortal Kombat movie we've all been dreaming of. I was so stoked. I was like, yeah, let's go. Again, same scenario. Middle of the pandemic. HBO Max, 3 in the morning. I invite my friends over, 3 in the morning to watch the movie. I'm on the East Coast, obviously. And, I got my chicken wings. I got my popcorn. I'm like, yes, we're going to have a Mortal Kombat party. Let's go. And I know Joe's in the chat right now. I got up out of my couch and I screamed, how does Goro die by walking into a garage? And then I screamed again, wait a minute, there's no tournament. There's no tournament. Like, I was so let down. I was let down. Don't get me wrong. There were moments I liked, but I was so let down. By the way, that was me that did the Mortal Kombat 95 versus Mortal Kombat 2021 face-off. I wrote that and I edited that.
Nice.
And I made sure that
I love the 95 version. That's so much fun.
Oh my God. What made 95 good is because Ed Boon. Well, here's the thing. This is one we always talk about. In 1995, we only had 3 Mortal Kombat games. Mortal Kombat 3 was barely a thing. And all we had was storyboards, the arcade storyboards to go off of. Mm-hmm. And they did a tremendous job bringing that franchise to life. And gave the characters personality. We got to see the moves. We got good fights. I know it didn't have blood and gore, but they got away with as much as they could for a PG-13. I was goddamn 9 or 10 years old when that movie came out, and I was like, it was everything to me. And the movie still holds up. I feel like it's true, and it was true. It was a true adaptation to the games. At this point, I'll get the next Mortal Kombat movie a chance just because, but I think at this point, Mortal Kombat deserves the Last of Us treatment. Last of Us was a great show on HBO. At this point, Mortal Kombat should be a series, not a movie, because there's so much lore, so many characters now. I think Mortal Kombat should be a series because you can't cram it all into a 90-minute movie anymore. It was different back in 1995 because we only had 3 games at the time. And they glossed over the second game, sort of. But now we have decades. We have 30 plus years of games to go off of. Mortal Kombat should be a series, and I love what Again, I never really played Last of Us, but I love that series, and I think Mortal Kombat deserves the same treatment.
Yeah, I don't really care what they do with it, just because it's a fighting game, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like if they were to make Killer Instinct into one, or Tekken into one, or the Street Fighter movie, where I'm like, I just have different expectations when there's a fighting game being adapted. I mean, it's just kind of the same thing with Mario, where it's like I just have different expectations in regards to like the movie aspect, where I'm like, I just get certain characters right, and then you can kind of do what you want with the story. I just want the characters to be correct, I guess, is always my thing. Because for those following, especially with even with Mortal Kombat, the story can be, it's like, what story are you following? Are you following the original timeline, the one from the reboot from 9, or the now technical new timeline in 1? Like, which one? So what you think of what you want to do?
So what you think of the 2021 movie? Because you said 95 was what you think of the 2021? Because I was disappointed.
I mean, I didn't have negative views towards it, but I wasn't like, this is the best thing ever. I had fun with it. I had fun.
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
Like I said, there were moments I liked though, and I just didn't like the fact. Nothing against, I love Louis Tan, but I just think having a unknown, a brand new character to lead the franchise was a bad move when there's so many other characters to choose from.
Oh, yes, that Cold Young was awful. Like, why? And his story was so stereotypical and bad. I mean, he's the worst part about the movie, without a doubt. And his arc is bad. Every element of him is just.
But that beginning fight with Scorpion, that flashback fight with Scorpion and Sub-Zero with Hiroyuki Sanada, that was everything.
Yeah, I think Sub-Zero and Scorpion are handled with a lot of care in that. But some
that's the
other
one
characters
thing they
really
got
aren't.
right. They got Scorpion and Sub-Zero right, but they fucked Goro. I didn't like Cole Young. Now, granted, I love Kung Lao. Kung Lao has died in every timeline. I knew he was gonna die. I think they should have kept him for one more movie. So
didn't they just banish him?
Yeah, but he got his soul stole from. He got his soul sucked by Shang Tsung. But they did.
Kung Lao. Shang.
They got his character right. They got his character right though. But it's just Max Huan was perfect. So there, like I said, it wasn't all bad. But I was just so let down because I was leading that goddamn charge. I was leading the whole internet. Like, let's go. We're gonna rally behind this movie, and I was so let down. And again, Joe, if you're in the chat, he's probably laughing right now because he was right there watching me scream at the TV at 3 a.m. Like, I literally got up out of the couch and started screaming at the TV. I'm surprised my neighbors didn't come after me. But last question. Okay, we'll wrap it up here. Last question for the night, Tyler. Keeping up with movies and video games here. What video game movie needs an adaptation, or what video game movie deserves another chance?
What video game movie needs? Wait a minute. What's the first? What video need
what game franchise you want to see get a movie or a series?
Oh, okay.
That hasn't gotten one yet.
It's hard to say because there's definitely been some stuff that's been happening recently where I'm like, I think it's being made, but I don't know. So I'm not going to go with any of those. I would say I'll go with a weird choice. I want to see Subnautica. Subnautica turned into a TV show more. That would be, I think that's where it's really, where it's, I don't know, its money is in a TV show. I think you can probably do it as a movie as well, but Subnautica's story is much more interesting than people would think, given that it's a survival game. That's if you haven't tried out Subnautica, I cannot recommend it enough. As someone who has a fear of the water, it kind of helped me with that.
Okay. And then is there any other adaptation that maybe it's already out there that deserves another chance, like a Silent Hill, a Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter? What do you think? Is there any other movie that you think should get another chance?
I mean, I hope the Silent Hill, because that is supposed to be Christopher Gahn is supposed to be directing a new one, but that got messed up because of the strike, and so I think that one has potential to make up for because like I like the first Silent Hill, but it still has its flaws. Like doesn't hold up well in this day and age. And the sequel is fucking god awful. But I think that the series has so much potential. But also, and I know you're a fan of the Resident Evil movies, I don't think they've properly gotten the Resident Evil adapted outside.
I hated Welcome to Raccoon City.
That was the worst piece of shit I could possibly imagine. Like, Welcome to Raccoon City was bad, and then I couldn't even make it through the Netflix show. The Netflix show was awful.
didn't even bother.
Yeah, it's like I don't understand why they can't just and my main issue with the Paul Thomas Anderson ones, or Paul W.S. Anderson ones, is I don't like that Alice is the main character. Like I want what they were essentially trying to do with Raccoon City, where it's actually an adaptation and with these characters, but I want it actually done competently.
They messed it up. Yeah, like, and it's just when I saw that trailer, I knew it was going to be bad. Yeah, it's fair to say. I understand. Like I said, I'm a little biased. I love the Resident Evil movies, the Paul Anderson ones. I really do. But I understand where the Resident Evil fans are coming from. I really do. Just like at this point, it's like how do you mess that up? Like, everything's right there, you know. Like I said, after that Raccoon City disaster, it just made, like I said, I already liked the big one, but it just made me appreciate Paul Anderson's movies even more. Like, at least, despite Alice being the main character, at least the spirit of Resident Evil was in those movies.
Yeah.
What I mean by that is, like, in the first movie, The Hive, you're talking, they're in the very condensed. What's the word I'm looking for? Like, they're in the
claustrophobic area.
Yes, a claustrophobic area full of zombies, and like they got that right. There was just enough horror and just enough action in there. And then the second movie, you know, we got Jill, we got who else was in there? It was Jill,
my Nemesis.
Nemesis, like, yeah, Nikolai, Carlos, like. Yeah, at least in the second movie, we got some they start sprinkling the characters, and eventually they brought in Wesker, they brought in Ada. Like, at least they start sprinkling those characters as the movies went on. But at least the first two movies kind of captured that spirit of the claustrophobic, you know, survival. And it just, you know, after that they did get carried away. So hopefully, it just sucks that we never got that George Romero Resident Evil movie. You know, I'm sure you guys did that. Joe Blow did that video. Like,
that was actually the first video I ever did for Joe Blow. George Romero's Resident Evil.
Well, he did do the commercial, but can you just imagine if George Romero, like, he wanted to do it? I think he would have nailed it, man.
Did you ever read his script?
No, I have to look into that.
The script is it. I mean, the dialogue is not good. It's very stilted,
yeah, but that could have been fine tuned, you know.
Exactly. That's the main thing, where it's like, this is clearly a first draft, and the structure is all very good, and like, especially you will, as a Resident Evil fan, you will be like, oh my god, why did we not get this? Because it's such an adaptation. Like, they have. There's a lot of stuff in it from the first game that you wouldn't expect, like the zombie sharks. Like, there's just a lot of random stuff in it where it's like, oh my god, they called back to that. Oh, the plant. Oh,
keeping it with George A. Romero. Now, the last Dead movie, his son's still doing, right? They're making one more Night of the Living Dead movie, but it's the movie that he wrote, but he didn't. Obviously, he passed away. He didn't get to do it. But it's the movie that he wrote. It's a prequel, right?
I think he just did a treatment for it. The details about it are very weird.
But they're moving forward with it, right? The next Dead.
It sounds like it. So there was two different. There was one that was like a direct sequel to Land of the Dead called Road of the Dead that he actually like wrote a script for. Yeah. And then there's Twilight of the Dead, which is this thing is. but I think it's
now,
just based off.
Is it a sequel or is it the prequel? Because I heard that he wanted to do a prequel set in World War II about where the zombies actually came from.
Oh, is that what I pretty much have, as soon as I even saw the name, I was just like, I don't care. This isn't Ramiro, whatever. Someone's just going to try and attach their name.
I thought his son was going to get involved, though. Well, I don't know.
I'm at the point, though, where I'm just like, what's his kid being involved with it really make it, like, more, you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, I'll give it a chance.
Yeah.
I'll give it a chance. I'll give it a chance.
Same.
I mean, no one did zombies better than Romero, man. That's
other than the last Survival of the Dead and Diary of the Dead are pretty rough, but
Survival of the Dead was okay. No, Diary of the Dead was okay. Survival of the Dead was terrible.
Yeah. Diary has decent moments.
Land of the Dead was the last great one.
I love me some Land of the Dead. I am a defender of that film. I get a good.
Great. That was great. That was an excellent follow up to what was the one in the
Day
80s?
of the Dead.
Day of the Dead. Yeah, perfect follow up. Follow up.
Yeah, I mean, the first 4 movies, I consider them to be just top tier. Well, first 3 movies I consider to be top tier. Land of the Dead, I think it has some issues, but I still really enjoy it.
I enjoyed it.
The CGI blood, I'm always just like, God damn it, why? But it's that era of filmmaking where
but
they're still trying to figure stuff out.
There's enough practicality there. There's enough there. You're right. There's some CGI that was unnecessary, but there was enough there to like yes, this is a Romero movie through and through.
Yeah, plus, there's those times where you can tell.
I love John Leguizamo.
Yeah, he's great in it. But he's the thing, and just from researching it, where it's like Ramiro, it was his first time with money, so he was doing things that he just thought that this is what you do on a big budget movie.
Yeah.
And I think the CGI blood, I think that's one of those things where it's just dang, he thought it was, this made it Hollywood, but so it's one of those things where I try to not judge the film too harshly for it, but it's definitely noticeable when I do watch it on rewatches.
Yeah, it's been a while since I watched it. I'll have to go back and watch all those movies again. All right, so hey, it's getting a little bit late here. Man, we can talk all day, dude. So anyway, so here's what I'm putting you on the spot, Tyler. I'm putting you on the spot. I asked this to all our guests that come through. I have to ask. That being said, we had some fun with you tonight. Would you like to come back sometime on NerdCage Live?
Oh, absolutely, anytime.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely would love to have you back. So yeah, I'm gonna give you the floor for a minute here. So anything you want to promote, anybody want to shout out, or you got a message for NerdCage Nation, floor is yours, Tyler, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, so follow me on different social media. I am Zombie Victim pretty much everywhere that you can think of.
Link in the
I
description.
have a website, TylerNicholsCreates.com. It has links to a bunch of my Joe Blow stuff, and it also even has a link to a book that I wrote called The Crimson Summer. It is it's a slasher book. It's essentially Friday the 13th style, where that's all I'll say. But yeah, you can check that out on Amazon, and I don't know, just keep an eye on Joe Blow Horror, because we do a lot of videos. As a matter of fact, tomorrow I have a What the Fuck Happened to Species 2 coming out. So
I love the Species movies.
Yeah, so keep an eye out for that. And I think next week I have a Real Slashers on Halloween 2 and a What the Fuck on the Friday the 13th remake that will be airing on Friday the 13th. So definitely
everybody, y'all subscribe to all the Joe Blow channels, Joe Blow Original Horrors, and all of that. And of course, Joe Blow Celebrity Interviews, and see some of Tyler's interviews as well. Again, sub this man up. Like I said, it's amazing all the stuff he's done for Joe Blow, and like I said, we can't wait to have him back on NerdCage. So real quick, before we go, guys, last stuff to promote real quick. Be sure to check out our live stream with Adam from Scribe Productions. That was a fun stream. Check out our Mortal Kombat energy drink food review, our Mortal Kombat final review, our story mode playthrough over on our gaming channel, our unboxing video, and of course, we're giving away a copy of Mortal Kombat 1 Collector's Edition for the PlayStation 5. We'll be playing the Medieval remake on Monday for Spooky Games Month, twitch.tv/NerdCage Live. Tuesday, we resume Resident Evil 3 on twitch.tv/NerdCage Live. Next Thursday, Doc Mack, the owner of the Galloping Ghost Arcade, will be here next Thursday, a week from tonight. The following Thursday, you demanded it, Dave Niebor from Dog Eat Dog will be back to talk horror movies and the new Dog Eat Dog album. And then the following week, the 26th, we're going to be doing the Mortal Kombat 1 Collector's Edition giveaway stream with Uncanny Carlos and MK Havoc Addict. Then on Saturday, the 28th, Ernest Scared Stupid watch party with our friend Mistress Leanna Lee from OnlyFans hanging out with us. So that should be a lot of fun. We'll do Resident Evil 5 DLC at some point, and we'll finish up God of War 2 at some point. And of course, mark your calendars for Thursday, November 2nd, as Heather Hardy, boxer MMA fighter, will be here on NerdCage Live Thursday, November 2nd, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And of course, don't forget, follow us on social media at nerd_cage on Twitter and Instagram. Join our Facebook discussion group. It's always popping. Just no spoilers, no politics, keep it civil, all that good stuff. And of course, get yourself a NerdCage Live t-shirt. Plenty of designs, pillows, hoodies, all that good stuff. Whether if you're skinny, booty call, or fat fuck, big or small, we love them all. Get yourself a NerdCage Live t-shirt. So that being said, thank you to Tyler of Joe Blow for hanging out with us tonight. And we please ask you to like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell, spread that shit like syphilis. So USA from yours truly, Syracuse, New York, and Michigan, to all of our friends and fans around the world at NerdCage Live and Joe Blow Media. As always, enjoy life, stay safe, eat your vegetables, do your push-ups, go to the gym, all that good stuff. And we'll see you Monday night on Twitch for the Medieval Remake playthrough for Spooky Games Month. Happy Spooky October month, everybody, and we'll see you next week. Good night!
We're doing another NerdCage Live giveaway, Joe. Joe, what are we giving away this time?
This time we are giving away the Collector's Edition of Mortal Kombat 1.
Yes! We're excited to team up with Uncanny Carlos and MK Havoc Act to give this away on Thursday, October 26th. Live. Be there. Joe of FallenOne Gaming, how do you enter to win?
Send an email with just your name in the subject line to nerdcagelive@outlook.com.
Absolutely. Be sure to enter before Tuesday, October 24th. We're going to spin a wheel live, and we're going to pick a winner live, and we will email that winner, and that winner has 48 hours to reply to us with your full shipping information, US and Canada only.
Good luck, NerdCage Nation, and flawless victory!
NerdCage Live and gaming are a perfect match.
Shoot the J, Joe. Okay. Shoot it! All right!
Over on NerdCage Live on Twitch, Jay and Joe go live.
Call me Bazooka Joe.
It's all about you.
Kaboom! Playing both old school and new school games every Tuesday night. Ooh, what a sight!
Jay, stop looking at her face and run.
But she's so beautiful!
So be sure to follow NerdCage Live on Twitch.
Run for your life, Joe. Run for your life, Joe.
Running!
Run faster! Oh no, Joe! The galaxy's doomed because of you!
To scratch your gaming itch.
Oh, nice kick, Joe.
Thank you.
Yo, that's f***ing diabolical. Wait. Yo!
That's twitch.tv/NerdCageLive.
Ooh, trying to get out of the nerd cage, are ya? Well, before you go, hit that subscribe button. And if you're really intrigued, ring that bell. Thank you for dropping by. Until next time, tell everyone you know about NerdCage Live!